your compatriots noticed that Mr. Vandervoort was in need of help. And you said there was a second creature? Where did you find this beast?
I heard some rustling up the stairs. And then I went to go investigate one of the boxes, and I opened it up too, and then some sort of creature came out and attacked me. Yeah, do you want me to do a deception roll? Because I mentioned the rustling.
I mean,
Because I technically didn't hear any rustling,
Mostly the
so
truth, though.
it is
it's mostly
mostly
the
the
truth.
truth.
The best
And
lies
I think
are.
I'm going to continue. We're still kind of in the same scene. I'm going to continue talking that first
Okay,
deception roll. It
okay.
doesn't mean you have license to fully lie, but that's a small enough thing. I think you're in lying without me asking you for another one.
Okay.
Um, I will tell you though, upstairs you say, and he will lean slightly through that door and look up the staircase and step back here. I hope you don't mind, but I'm not foolish enough to walk up into what could be a den of vampires with just myself and you. I will wait here until my compatriots return.
Okay.
Perhaps you ought to find your friends
Okay.
so that we can
Yeah,
all have a chat.
it shouldn't be too far away, so um and then I just kind of go snag Lakabachi and Narlug.
Fair enough.
And I assume Irvir's still doing his
Yes,
holy
so
symbol
I was
stuff.
actually just about to say, I think that, this probably takes a total of about 10 minutes to get to this point. At which point, Over, you would definitely have been able to make it to the church. Um, you would find Father Lucian just kind of cleaning the actual sanctuary. Um, Milivoy is also around. He's down on his hands and knees again, scrubbing the floor. Uh, but Father Lucian is currently applying like linseed or something to the actual altar to make sure it stays nice and glossy. And he looks up as you enter. Um,
Uh, as I pass Milivoy, I want to make a show of patting the bag and giving him a thumbs up.
uh, okay. He, I think, would kind of like blush and look away, but there's a small nod as he does so.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, not say anything else. Just like, oh, if
mhm.
anyone else is looking, only the people that already know can possibly know.
Right. And it's just the two of them in here. It's kind of mid-morning, so dawn services have concluded. Even the strikers have kind of left. There are orphans kind of, occasionally will kind of dash through on their way out the door or whatever, because there are a number of small children housed here. But no adults that are aware of what's going on, and the kids, as far as concerned, probably aren't a risk, in this. Um, but yeah, Father Lucian. It is good to see you again, Ervir. Although I am surprised you've returned so quickly.
Time is, of course, of the essence. Would you mind joining me in the back room for a moment?
Certainly. Um, and are you asking him to step to the little alcove, which is kind of out of direct line of sight, or are you asking him to step to the office?
Uh, the office,
Okay.
because that's where the bones were interred, right? Below
No,
that.
they were like in that little nook off of the main sanctuary where there's that little secondary shrine to Saint Andrel herself.
Then the office.
Okay. Um, Very well. And he will follow along. And this is kind of where Irina has been, you know, staying. But you can
She
see
can
she
join
is
us too.
actually, yeah, fair enough. She's at the desk writing a letter.
Oh,
Uh, and she
how
looks up.
thoughtful of her.
Yeah. But she looks up and, welcome back over here. And offers you a little smile. Um, And the father would just look to you, slightly concerned now, but not like angry or anything. Just, well, this must be a sensitive matter.
I have good news and bad news. But the good news first, as it is probably the most important of all. And he
Hmm.
will very carefully grab the bones out of
Hmm.
his sack and keep them in their own bag
Sure.
and sort of not really sure what to do, but kind of kneel down and present them to the father.
Okay.
Believe
Um,
are to be returned to their rightful place.
and you see his eyebrows go up, and there's a look of surprise on his face. Uh, you found the remains. Uh, that's wonderful news. And he'll step forward, and you can see his hands like tremble a little bit. He knew these were here, but it's not something he ever touched. You don't mess with the burial site of a saint after. Um, but he will reach out and take the bag, um, and will carefully undo like the binding at the top and open it. And as he does, no religion roll or arcana roll necessary. You feel like a pulse emanate from what he's holding, and you can see that he and Irina feel it too. There's a just kind of a invisible and really fairly intangible, just emanating wave, and there's that faint smell of sunflowers again, and he almost drops them in surprise. um, but manages not to do so. And um, you know instinctively that despite the bones not being interred, the fact that they are here, um, and that they have been recognized for what they are has restored the hallowed ground in this place. Um, and actually, a couple of tears of relief fall down his face as he sniffles a little bit. And I I thank you for what you've done for this community. Oh, I had not realized the stress I was under, knowing that they were not here. But I thank you, as I know, would all of the townsfolk, were we to burden them with the knowledge of what has happened. Um, I will ensure that they are carefully returned to their rightful resting place. Um, And seeing him kind of like wobble a little bit under all this, Irina will stand up and place a hand on his shoulder and gesture for you to rise too. Um, we will do it together, Father Petrovich. And he would nod. Um, I hate to darken such a momentous occasion, but you mentioned bad news.
Yes, very unfortunate. The good news was how quickly we were able to retrieve them. The bad news is under the circumstances in which that occurred. Now, as far as I'm aware, we should not be in any sort of legal trouble as we did not commit any crimes. However,
Hmm. Deception? No, not really. That
however,
is a
I mean,
lie, but
he didn't commit any crimes.
you're all, I mean, at the
I
very
made
least, aiding and abetting a B&E.
extingent
Yeah.
circumstances that
Yes.
means I did not need a fucking shit. What's it called?
A warrant?
A warrant to enter the abode due to giving medical treatment.
It was
Very
an
well.
emergency.
And the door. By the time you went through the door, it was already open.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it
And
is a
it is a
place of
public
business.
shop. Yeah. That's
And it
okay.
was
We'll
not made clear if they were open or closed.
we'll let the white lies in the church in the presence of the remains of a saint slide. Somewhere far away, high in the clouds, an abacus ticks over one bead.
I'm pretty sure I'm balanced out.
You were. Anyway, joking aside, um, so you entered in order to provide uh, assistance, or sorry, I
I was going to say a
yada
lot of
yada
that
too
was out
hard.
of character. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
long story short, uh, Van Holtz had the bones, and he seemed
Ah,
to
Vandervoort. Van Holtz is the
Vandervoort.
word, the guy he was corresponding with.
All right. Yep. I
Yeah.
was getting to that though too. Vandervoort had the bones, as he seemed to be requisitioned by one Vasily Van Holtz to obtain them. We have no leads on him.
The two of
However,
them share a look at that name, but don't interrupt.
unfortunately, upon investigation of the coffin shop to try and ascertain the bones, it turns out there were more than a couple vampires in the attic, or upstairs, not attic.
Yeah, potato, potato.
Two have been dispatched. There are 3, 4, maybe 5 more. And my companions are back there with the guard now, presumably,
Ah,
to dispatch the rest. So I think
um,
now more than ever, the sanctity that these bones provide this place is of the utmost import.
he nods, and you can see there's like a moment of minor shell shock. Um, Irina, however, is quick to act. She will step up from where she was towards the door, stride out into the hallway, and you can hear her call, Milivoy, it's probably best if you make sure that all the children are accounted for. Why don't we call them back for midday lessons? Quickly. Um, and, she strides off to make sure he's doing that. You know she's smart enough not to leave the grounds, but, she steps to action. And the Father Petrovich, I would not have expected the undead within the walls. It's dreadful, but I'm glad you were able to deal with some of them.
It's
But
contained for now, but grim tidings to be sure.
yes, such dastardly acts within the city are greatly troubling. But you said your companions are intending to deal with the remainder. Should you be there to provide them support?
I thought it most important that Saint Antral would be able to rest once more and hollow these grounds because we have no idea what could come next. But as you now have them, you are absolutely correct. I shall be off to aid them as needed.
Um, he nods. I know Irina will wish to join you, but it is probably best to remain here, yes?
I would think so. We're not quite sure what we're dealing with, and my greatest fear would be that this goes much, much higher up a hierarchy,
Mhm. He
and we
nods.
don't necessarily want a certain someone to know everything that has transpired today and who might be present.
Indeed. Um, Very well. I will not hold you longer. We will speak more at length when you have handled this problem. I will make sure Irina is safe in the meantime. Go to them. And he'll nod
Of
and
course.
close the bag again. Yeah, and you start your trek back across town.
Perfect.
Uh,
Which also lines
okay,
up with me getting to the hotel. So I'm going to drop off for like 10 minutes. I'll be back on.
perfect.
Nice.
All right, back to the rest of you. Um, As you are waiting, yeah, Ralmir kind of steps outside and beckons you guys over, I assume. Um, and the guard will, as you step outside, also step like kind of out front, not wanting to be penned in and outnumbered in a, you know, inside, unobservable location. Um, and again, grip on the pike, but he watches as you two approach. And periodically we'll check kind of up towards the street for the rest of them. And you would see that perhaps, 3-4 minutes go by as he waits. And whoa, as you all do so, a group of 4 guards, as well as a very tall and imposing bald man, who wears a long wolfskin cape over his right, shoulder, where his sword arm, is kind of covered. On the left hip is a very large, thick-bladed. You would call it a long sword technically, but it looks almost more like a cleaver. Um, and this guy is big enough to swing a sword like that. And as this guy comes into view, the guard you're with, stiffens even more than he had, been, or standing like really, really stock straight. Um, and they approach close to you. So, as they all kind of looks to the group of the 3 of you, and then we'll snap to attention and salute the captain. Um, Captain, thank you for making such haste. These 3 travelers witnessed, well, by the sound of it, he says, looking at you, Ralmir, and you can see he's behaving, I don't want to say suspicious of you, but in that detached kind of guard manner. There is not a single bit of banter, not a smile, not anything from this guy. But he studies you again. Entered this shop in order to provide medical assistance to Mr. Vandervoort, and discovered a nefarious creature, 2, in fact. Please, if you don't mind, and I assume you would have introduced yourself, Ralmir,
Yep.
would you repeat your story for Captain Strahd?
Um, yeah. So like, what? So just kind of just like recap like the whole thing. Do you want me to like repeat like the whole thing over again, or
You don't have to, but if you're going to change your story at all,
it's going to be the
or
same thing that I would tell the
okay.
guards initially though, so it's going to be the same thing.
Hmm.
I didn't know if you were going to make me recite the whole thing though, see if I could remember everything the same way or not. But
No, no, no,
no,
no.
no,
I'm
okay,
not. I'm not out to screw you as a after
okay.
He was
a
vigorously
10-minute break
typing with his
there,
toes the whole time, remembering everything that you had said.
right? Um.
Oh, he's got a
And
keyboard on just on the floor for these type of situations.
Gotta keep him. Gotta keep him guessing.
and he will listen. Whoops, not that. What is the? Is it shift Z? There we go. This is the
Uh,
guard captain. Um, he's like probably a solid 6'8" and about 300 pounds of pure muscle. He has that terrible scar over one eye. Um, and Ayakobachi,
Yeah, you read my
I would
mind.
like an intelligence check, please.
I was like, oh man, I wonder what animal made that scar. That's pretty sick. Let me-
Okay, that's the DC. They referred to this man as Captain Strahd. You've heard a name, Izek Strahd.
I'll note that.
Terrible scars. He's extremely large, and his footfalls leave very deep footprints.
Hmm. Yeah, I will. Obviously follow Ralmer's lead and try to just get a good look at this guy and just try to observe him as best I can. Get
Okay.
every little detail down. Get his just try to learn from just by looking at him.
Okay.
As a way
If
that like a lion or any other animal would sit and wait and watch and learn something before they did, like that.
Okay, that sounds to me like an active perception check.
Ignore that plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no,
you're
no,
passed
we can
without
keep it.
trace.
Yeah, I forgot to unclick it.
That's okay. An 18 is still quite good. You're a little bit further back from this guy, but you're able to kind of carefully study him, and you have sharp eyes. You're a ranger after all. And as the light cross breeze blows here, the fur on his collar, shifts and waves in the breeze. And as it blows ever so slightly away from his neck, you see up the side, just barely visible above the collar, a row of deep red scales.
Yeah, that.
And you can't see that arm, but on that same breeze, you catch the faintest hint of brimstone. And when he watches you, Ralmir, as you repeat your story, those eyes are eagle sharp on you. You notice his pupils are just ever so slightly slit-shaped, like a cat's. And the irises that you at first thought were kind of hazel are in fact kind of an orange color. Um, and he just lets you talk as you repeat your story. Says nothing, watches you with that laser-focused gaze. And as you finish, in silence for 10-15 seconds, he lets it stretch on. A curious tale, for certain. How fortuitous that you simply happened to be walking by and noticed that Mr. Vanderfort was in need. Hmm. Truly, you would make model citizen. Please, lead the way. I wish to see the scene of this devilry that you report. And he gestures towards the house.
Okay. Yeah, they really don't have a choice, so I'm gonna just go into the dusty old room with the vampire encounter was at.
Okay. So you're gonna lead them up to the attic?
Yeah, and then I showed him like the pile of ashes after I
Mm-hmm.
killed it, which is similar to the pile of ashes though that the people saw burnt up. So I would
Right.
presume so.
I'm going to put a couple people on the second floor. Some of the guards would kind of spread out throughout the house. One of them will stay with Henrik. One will guard the door. One in the main room. One at the bottom of the stairs. But let's go ahead and move you three up there somewhere. I just kind of picked a random spot. Please position as you see fit. I assume you'd be up near the front, Relmir, just because you're kind of showing them around. And the guy in here is the same one that has been with you the whole time. You can see he is still maintaining that absolutely like postcard guard, perfect posture, and he seems to almost be scared of this guy. Like you see his gaze flicks over to the captain way more than necessary. Um, Anytime that he looks in his direction, like there's that like almost momentary freeze.
So, but one thing I'm just curious about, can I do like an insight check on this though to see if he's like suspicious of me at all?
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll it.
Yeah.
Okay. Shame about not having advantage.
Yeah.
Um, but as you try and kind of get a read, you get the feeling that he probably is suspicious of you, but this is the kind of man that is suspicious of everybody and everything at all times. What you read in his, countenance, how he carries himself, and how he interacts with his environment, and how he's interacted with you, is eternal vigilance.
Okay. I mean that this town is a little weird with this kind of stuff, especially with the whole
Yes.
festival thing too. So
Hmm.
figured this town is basically a police state for
Absolutely.
for lack of better
Hmm.
words. But yeah,
Yes.
is a
It is literally described in the book within the 3 sentences of the description as a state. So
oh
yes,
okay
you are very
okay
much correct. Um, and this guy seems to be at the top of the, pecking order here as far as that goes. Presumably the
gotcha.
burgomaster is truly in charge, but every single one of these guards here defers to him without any hesitation. Um, and yes, you see him again slowly scan the room. He looks over, to where the pile of ashes is, kind of spread across the wood pile. He steps up without hesitation, not even wobbling a little bit as he does on the uneven stacked wood. He looks down at the scorch mark, kind of scuffs it a bit with the toe of his boot. He steps back down, examines these 2 crates that have been opened, looks over to the window. Your assessment seems reasonable. It would certainly seem that these 6 crates are a set, and one would presume 2 of the 6 housed these monstrosities, that the other 4 would as well. Truly a difficult decision, is it not? He says, looking to the other guard, who obviously understands this is a rhetorical question. He is not supposed to respond. He simply just nods ever so slightly. He looks back to the 3 of you. Well, certainly it could be said that you've done a service for our great city today, rooting out 2 of the beast's spawn. That is certainly admirable. And as he smiles wide, you see he has not just fangs, but he has a second set. Like actually the canines and then the teeth adjacent, both top and bottom, are needle sharp and longer than they should be.
So are these like almost like just like animalistic fangs or like vampire fang?
Not vampire, more devilish, if that makes any sense.
Oh, okay. Right, because he has the like the infernal scales and stuff like that.
Yes.
So
Um, you perhaps after watching him long enough, I mean, you're also perceptive. You would catch the scales. You'd probably catch the smell as he pushed past you coming into the room. He's a distant relative, Ralmir. Isn't that exciting? Um,
yeah.
but yes, you've done us a great service. However, destruction of property is a serious offense, as I'm afraid is frightening the populace. We'll have to consider what to do about you. And he looks to Narlug and Ayakabachi, who I assume have not been fully introduced. If I recall correctly, when you entered our fair city, the names that were all entered as a group included 2 more. Yes, I'm certain of it. One Irvir Hallowbrook. Oh,
Ooh,
it's like I
jump scare.
summoned him by saying his name.
All right, there is a line to check in. Who would have thought? They didn't give me my Avery rate when I booked it, so I had to ask.
Uh,
'Cause I ain't paying $300 a night, man.
fair enough. But yes, uh, the captain of the guard was just saying that he recalls there being not 4 but 5 of you when you arrived in town, stating that there was also an Irver Hallowbrook and also an Irina Kolyana. Am I not correct? He says, looking at you, Ralmir, eyes piercingly locked on you again.
Um, oh, then I'll just be like, yep. They were, and then I would just like tell them yeah, how she was we had her just like staying at the church though, and Irvir was just going to check on her.
I see. And um, he will step forward right up in your face. And as he does so, he finally pulls that right arm out from under the cloak. And as he holds it up like this, it is in fact covered in scales. It's also much larger than it ought to be, even on this gigantic man. And each finger, including the thumb, bears a wicked 2-inch talon on the end. But yes, those kind of like deep, darker red than blood red scales cover the entire thing. And as he pulls his hand up and turns it slightly towards you, flame gutters and crackles across his. And you swear that she was not involved?
Nope. I try to be as nonchalant as possible.
And he looks at his hand, and as he closes it, the flames go out. Then I think it best that we wait for Mr. Hallowbrook. And
Okie
he
dokie.
smiles widely.
Then he slides in like Kramer.
What'd you say?
He slides in
And
like
then he
Kramer.
slides in like Kramer.
Yeah. Sure. But yeah, Mike, I assume you're setting up a laptop.
That is on my agenda, yes.
Fair. I
But
just don't
Irving
know if.
has no need for meta knowledge. He can just adapt and overcome.
Okay. Uh, I know you were aware previously of who this character is, but yes, they have met the captain of the guard, and they are currently with several other guards in the building, awaiting Irvir's return.
Yakobachi hasn't taken a shot yet.
Not yet, no.
Thank fuck.
And needless to say, if you needed any confirmation of Yakobachi, that was it.
Yeah. Just gotta learn. We'll figure out a weakness.
Guess that's what a 100 would do.
Right?
Exactly. It'd be hasty
Gotta
just to
stalk the
go in.
prey.
It'd be hasty just to run in like that. You don't know what else is,
You only
Yeah.
pounce without thinking when you're particularly hungry.
Right.
Um,
And we just got to. I'm
so it would probably be only a few minutes until Irvir would make his way across town and, actually arrive. Um, and I think in that time, Izek would step back from you just slightly, Ralmir, and he stands there, arms crossed, with the scary one on top. Just staring at you. Like, there's no direct aggression in his posture, but he knows just that he cuts an imposing figure. He has nowhere better to be. And you get the feeling this man is infinitely patient. Like, there is not a twitch or a fidget from him as he literally just stands stock still and waits. And Irvir, eventually you do arrive. You would find there's a guard posted just inside the door, another one posted by Henrik in the workshop. Have to cross past another one guarding the stairs, but you are directed up to the attic, and eventually would find yourself kind of standing behind, just so you have a lay of the room. Izek is kind of between the party and the area of the attic where the crates were.
Work.
Well, the two that are broken up, but they're still there. They have not moved them
Oh.
yet. I apologize. There's also another guard that had originally arrived at the scene that's up there. Yeah, you kind of find yourself at the back of the pack, and as you enter the room, yes, standing in front of you is your average Joe town guard, but also a man that is 6'8", 310, built like he ate a brick shithouse. A very, very broad and heavy longsword, like twice as wide of a blade as you would expect on his left hip. standing with his arms crossed in front of Ralmir, and you can see that the right arm is deformed and monstrous, covered in, glittering deep red scales with long talons. And he has these like piercing, almost orange cat-like eyes, and he just tracks you as you come out of the door and kind of filter into the back of the room. And he grins. Mr. Hallowbrook, how nice of you to join us. As I was just explaining to your compatriots, you've done a wonderful thing ridding us of these two foul beasts. And yet,
It is my honor to serve.
I can tell from your garb that you at least think it so. But there is the issue of destruction of property and terrorizing the populace. Those will need to be answered for.
Surely the one to answer for that would be the one who was keeping them.
Oh, trust me, you will answer as well. And yet, none here are innocent. Who in Valaki possibly could be? That's another wicked grin. And as I described to the other, as he smiles and bares his teeth, he has two sets of fangs. They don't look vampire-y, they look, describe them as needle sharp, but really razor sharp. Whatever.
More predatory.
Almost like shark
general.
teeth. Yeah, like the canines and the teeth behind them. Very sharp and do not look human. And I think this is the moment where if anybody wants to argue to not get arrested, now is your chance. Because that feels like where this is.
I want to argue to not get arrested.
Go ahead.
Is that where we're at? Shit. Hold on. I select button. Damn, I didn't know I'd have to get my lawyer hat on again.
Now, he's not shouting, arrest them, and drawing his sword, but you get the feeling you're taking a trip downtown for questioning. That's how I should phrase it, perhaps.
So, like, is this more about getting like detained?
Yes.
Am I being detained?
Am I being detained right now? I need.
sovereign citizen.
Oh shit! The Colombo system isn't going to really help me here, is it?
No, not this one.
Fuck. Damn you, Colombo.
Is the Colombo system gonna help me here?
It's like I don't know. It's like I don't know. Mention Isaac's relatives or something. Huh?
No, he's Columboing us.
He is Colomboing us, so he hasn't
He's
mentioned.
the defense against the Colombo Arts Club.
He's never he didn't compliment me at first though, so
He did not.
He's not following. He didn't offer support either, so it's like he's not Columboing me. Well, guess I should probably do the whole good old persuasion.
And what are you going to say as you attempt to persuade him?
Yeah, we were. Well, like so like when we go, it's like when we taking us is the downtown, is he like just planning on like just coming up with an excuse to like lock us up, like almost like a trap kind?
Oh, he's already made that excuse, but he's not clapping manacles on you. He said you need to answer for destruction and for scaring the townsfolk. But he did not immediately say, "To the stocks with you."
Yeah,
Anything.
okay. I mean, I was like, I mean, we didn't. I mean, we definitely did not intend for a vampire to jump out of that building, though, and run and cause a muck in the entire town. Though we definitely wanted it to be contained and not scare the town folk either. That was not our intention.
He studies you as you say this. Go ahead, Ervir.
Surely we've done the townspeople here a service. While there may have been a bit of fear initially, they can see that between some people they may or may not know, but also the city guard and the rest that are in those boxes, the problem is well within hand, and no harm has come to anybody.
No harm, say. Truly, truly a naive thought. Do you not realize how fragile the mind of a peasant can be? Hmm?
I should have said physical harm.
The fear this has planted, oh, it is already growing strong roots. And we've done so much work keeping this garden free of such nasty weeds. I have no doubt that the Burgomaster will be thankful for the service you've done. And yet, who would I be to ignore the law of the land? I cannot let you go. You will need to speak to the man himself and plead your case.
I don't see any harm in speaking with the burgomaster. I'm
As
sure
he
he
looks at the other
talked to
three
them.
of you.
I'm sure he'll be a reasonable man.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, homie just wakes up and doesn't remember shit. Yagobachi will stay.
This is why Narlug ain't talking.
Yeah. Yagobachi will be uncharacteristically quiet and just nod.
Hey,
Okay.
if he wakes up, what the hell's he gonna say? Oh, by the way,
I
it might
saw
have
this
looked like
big dude
I was
with
holding him
tusks,
for a
and all of a
friend.
sudden I was out cold.
Right.
I was holding him for a friend. The vampires upstairs, they're not mine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he is very much also in a shit sandwich.
No, he's super fucked.
And you did, Narlug, you may not want to talk, but you do have some evidence.
I do have evidence.
So I don't know if you wish to surrender that or if you're save it speaking to
Hmm.
more. You're smart. You probably, even without an intro, I think you realize if you give it to Ezek, there's a chance it disappears before it's relevant.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I really trust this dude to. Seems like he really just wants to throw people in jail to do it. So
Yeah,
I might hold on to that for my own. When we're
all of
testifying.
you, yeah, all of you, no insight roll required, recognize this guy is power tripping and is sadistic and will happily rough you up and throw you in stocks if you disagree with anything he has to say. So if you want to hold on to that for somebody who might actually listen.
Yeah.
But I'm just reminding you, you have to. Don't forget that is the only real physical evidence.
Oh yeah, if it comes down to he
Henrik was
said,
the
she said,
perpetrator.
that note's coming out instantly.
Yeah. Very well then. To the Burgomaster's mansion we shall go. I will, of course, need you all to surrender.
I take it you broke up, so I assume you mean
Oh, sorry.
weapons.
Yes, surrender your weapons.
Okay, that's fine. Hey, I re-registered my my sword.
You did.
I was smart.
Yes. I do recall. I saw the modifications to the ledger. And again, those super sharp, piercing eyes as you each hand over things. You can see him comparing them to the notes that were in the actual book that you all signed. And yeah, he will check each and everything and hand them to the other guard, who will literally just tuck them like into a pack that he's got slung under his shield on his back, which is kind of overfull given it's a bow and arrows, a dagger, and a ring, all that.
Yagobachi's gonna give the bow over to the guy
and he's gonna be like, "Be careful with this. Family heirloom." He's gonna make like a look, and then go back to what he was doing.
Okay. And he clearly doesn't make the connection. But he will take it from you, and is not like going to snap it over a knee or anything. He's not that level of spiteful. But as he does grab it, it's a little bit of a snatch before he gently hands it off to the guard. And yeah, you are all directed back out into the street.
Do they take over your shield?
No, they will not take your shield, but they will take your sword.
Okay. He hands it over
Uh,
very happily.
Fair enough. Whoops. Please. Computer. So you should all be on the Valky map now, yes? That worked correctly. Weird.
Yep.
Okay. So as you are over here, it is not too much of a hike, but you will be directed over here to the Burgmaster's mansion. You are marched kind of in the center of this group of guards. They are not putting manacles on you, but they are definitely holding a perimeter. And as Izek leads the pack here, you notice that every single person you come across in the street suddenly has an excuse to be literally anywhere. People will like turn on a heel 180 degrees and suddenly go, "Oh, I forgot whatever," and make up an excuse and literally just walk away. He like creates this dead zone of complete emptiness around him, as nobody seems to be willing to dare coming across his bad side. But you're led up the main street, and you are, herded down until you approach the actual Burgomaster's mansion. Mike, do you want me to wait until you have map for all of this? Since I don't know if you ever went there
I
previously.
don't remember if we did or not. I should be coming up just momentarily, I think, though.
In that case, I can start with the descriptions. As they lead you kind of off the street towards the mansion, there's a little side path that
Did my
turns.
mic get better, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah, you sound
Okay.
better.
There's a little path that turns off of the street and winds for a few hundred feet, lined with hedges, and kind of opens up facing this building. And the mansion has walls of plastered stone that display many scars where the plaster has fallen away from age and neglect. Drapes are drawn over every window, including a large arched opening above the mansion's double entrance doors.
There's Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
Yeah.
Wahoo!
Let's see if
Sorry, I
this
didn't mean to
just.
interrupt.
No, you're good. Let's see if this just works. Please drop your characters down where I am pinging. Can you
Keep ping
see
again.
Ayakabachi or no?
I cannot.
Bottom right.
Bottom right. Okay.
Oh, yep. Okay. I see where you're at now.
Okay, and I will set these up. Yeah, don't worry about being like super precise. Just
It's just a black screen though, so am I good?
it will be. I have to give you vision, but if last time I tried to do it,
but it's good on your end.
yes,
Okay.
you're good. It looks like Rivera also dropped himself down. Ayakabachi, you should be able to see.
Yep.
All right. Relmir should be able to see.
Yep.
Now, Narlug should be able to see.
Yep.
And then let's fix Irvir. You're nice and easy. You don't have any like, night vision or anything for me to set up. You're just blind at night.
You're welcome for my peasant ass self.
Damn humans.
Um Ezek will step up to the front door and reach under his cloak and produce a iron key. Insert it into the front door, turn it with kind of a heavy and echoing thunk, and will push open the door. Open. It's a double door. And he has to like duck a little bit to even come across the threshold. And as he does, there's a maid here that's like immediately like stands at attention, and you can see her actually like shaking in fear of him. Where is the master of the house? Uh, in his study, sir. And she will scoot like 10 feet back while bowing just out of his way, and he will beckon you all inside.
I'll stay in the back and be observant.
Fair enough.
So,
And as you come inside, framed portraits adorn the walls of this grand foyer, which features a wide staircase with a sculpted railing. A long, carpeted hall attached to the foyer stretches almost the length of the mansion, several doors leading away from it, including one at the far end. Bundles of twigs are heaped against the walls here. That's all of these. He gestures for you to ascend the staircase. The master of the house awaits us upstairs. Move sharp, and he will lead the way, but will basically insist that you follow. And go ahead and just kind of group up into a 2x2. And everybody collectively to the next floor, since I know you can't see up there yet. Or here, I could just do this. That works. You notice that the other guards do not follow, and he does not seem bothered about being outnumbered. Can you guys see? See, there's a weird lighting
Yep.
thing there. Okay.
I only see a few spaces below us, but I do see.
Yeah, yeah, if you step forward, the light will work. So basically, yeah, it's
Oh,
a
yep, there we go.
turn. This is a landing. You know, there are more portraits here along the walls. And he will continue upward. Just keep going. There's another lighting thing there. And yes, the staircase
Door
climbs
stuck.
20 feet. Wait, you can't cross that line?
Now I can.
Let's just do this. But the
My
staircase
PC is
climbs.
a little laggy too. It's hotel Wi-Fi.
There's probably a
enough.
pink line on the light layer. That means it's like you can see down it, but you can't look up it or cross it. It's weird.
I don't. Oh yeah, that's weird.
It's to stop
Yeah,
players from like progressing without.
Hmm.
It's weird.
fair enough. Yes, the staircase climbs 20 feet to a beautifully appointed gallery. It continues towards the west, running almost the length of the mansion. Framed landscape paintings line the walls. And silk drapes cover a 10-foot tall arched window of leaded glass. That's this big one here.
Does Yagobachi recognize anything in the paintings?
I don't think so. They're all of Barovian, areas. So I guess yes, you would recognize some of it, but like a historical connection to any of it.
Right.
Um,
Maybe just some
there.
information that might be helpful. Maybe because like there was that one place we were heading to after
Ah,
here. Like, is there
yes,
anything
yes,
that
yes.
might give me some information? Maybe when it was founded, or just give me some tidbits.
Oh, so you're looking for like the Abbey, perhaps, or Kresk,
I think it was
or
Kresk was the one after we were going to that. You were
yeah.
going
So
to yeah.
Kresk, the Abbey of Saint Markovia, is
Okay.
Kresk, or really it overlooks Kresk.
Okay.
And if you were looking for that specifically, based on the description you've gotten from Irina in your travels, there is in fact a landscape here of a deep pine forest. And within the trees, you can see a very tall wooden. Valaki is surrounded in a palisade, but it's only. This is 30 feet high, giant full pine trunks hammered in to the ground. and just you can see, wisps of smoke rising above it. And up on a cliff that overlooks the actual town is a gleaming marble building that you can only assume would be the abbey, given the steepled, towers and the very tall individual tower that is in the center, bearing the symbol of the Morning Lord at the top in gleaming gold. And the way that this has been painted, you've never seen a sunbeam this bright feel in Barovia, but shaft from the clouds that illuminates this marble building, which tells you a few things. It's deep in the forest. The town is very well protected, and the abbey itself is not in the town, it overlooks the town from the mountain. But the rest of the, portraits are like sections of the Svalich woods that you've, the actual like river, Ilvis. You have at least 3 or 4 paintings of the castle loft itself, most of which, despite the rest of the kind of landscapes here, actually than you is great. The castle is consistently in all of these wreathed in a deep, deep, dark thunderstorm. Heavy black clouds, flashes of lightning. The paintings almost seem to like draw the light from the room. They're that imposing.
I'll take note of that.
But everything that is not the castle is kind of idyllic and pastoral. But yeah, he will lead you down. And gesture. Go ahead and follow along. Gesture for you to follow him into this narrow passageway here. Everything here is, for the record, very clean, reasonably well maintained, but there is a feeling of age here. Yes, they're beautiful hardwood. Yes, there are portraits everywhere. Yes, there's a whole lot of gold and fine wood. But just like everything else in Barovia, time eats everything eventually. Mildew stains, ruts worn in the wood, countless feet crossing over it. He will gesture Ervir for you to open the door on the left there. And just say, enter. He is already expecting you and has been apprised of the situation. Which is interesting, given that you have not seen him send a missive, and there has been no message runner.
Urvir will give the door a polite knock before opening, and then, upon glancing in, will offer a bow and enter the room.
Yes. And yeah, as you knock, you would hear enter from within. Sitting behind the desk. Actually, let me make sure I'm not. Okay. Floor to ceiling shelves line everywhere, and a number contained on the and the number of books contains nothing astounding. A brass oil lamp sits atop a large desk in the center of the chair behind the desk is comfortably padded, and a symbol of a bear stitched onto the arms and presumably on the back curtain. And he's not technically sitting on the chair; he's kind of standing behind it, so it's better here. Standing behind the chair, holding an open book, is a bearer of a man. His breastplate, rapier, silk tunic, and greasy beard glisten in the lamplight. Resting on small rugs to his left and right, large black mastiffs. And there is a handout for this man. But similar to Ezek, he simply studies you for a moment. And rather than, immediately speaking, immediately indicating that you do anything, you can get the feeling that he is sort of judging how you approach the situation. first. Where are my handouts?
I don't know if this module has it, but sometimes if you search the character's token, if you go
I
in
tried
there,
to, and it didn't come up for some fun.
I hate that. I wish they did it for all of them.
It worked for most of it. There it is. Named NPCs and creatures. And there you are.
Our 20 is so dumb sometimes. Ooh.
Oh shit. That's an evil mustache if I've ever seen one.
What a dashing young man.
Right?
And also, there's a guy there. What a good boy.
Oh.
There's a guy there?
He's talking about the wolf pelt. It's very beautiful.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there's a very good boy
And it happens to
that's
be a man.
dead.
A very dead boy. Actually, you know what? You specifically said you were going to be at the back, Ayakaba. As you cross into the room and the door is starting to close, Ezek steps into the room on the opposite side of and very quickly closes the door behind him. But I would like a perception check from you.
Perception.
Oh, the crit. Okay. I'm gonna give you the full description. Because that is a hell of a perception check. I know you're watching him, and it's really not that complicated area, but it is weird. He produces a different key, which he uses to unlock the door, and it also disappears into that same inner pocket. But what you see as the door opens and he steps in is dolls. The room is full of pretty little dolls with powder white skin and auburn hair. Dressed beautifully, others plainly. Some of the dolls fill a long bookshelf, and others are arranged in shelves.
I lost you
Still
there for a
others are
second. I'm
piled
sorry.
atop. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Like maybe
Um,
one sentence ago.
Okay, some of the dolls fill a long bookshelf.
hmm
Still others are piled atop a bed and a heavy wooden chest. What's most odd is that all of the dolls in their clothing are the same, and they all look like Irina Kolyana.
Yana. Got it. It's our boo. For
I
sure.
came back just in time to hear Romir Nark.
Okay.
Rolmir Nark?
Oh, my earbuds are fucking up. Sorry, I can hear it.
Oh. So you didn't hear what happened there. Here is the description of the. I'm gonna copy paste what Ayakobachi saw there.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna fill in the group eventually, but you know.
I have to hear again, I think. Put in the better earbuds.
Fair enough. But yes, the Baron simply studies all of you, and as you enter the room, Mastiffs growl very slightly. And he just holds up a hand, fist, and they both instantly silence and lay back down. What?
If we are having a staring. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, what are we to do about you? He says, resting his chin on. But you were about to speak, Irvir.
I was going to say that if we're having a staring contest, Irvir would break the silence first, but if he went ahead and spoke.
Yeah,
We'll let that
Not
be.
for like super long, but just long enough that like you can feel it squeeze. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. He's asserting authority. It's negotiation tactics 101.
Yes, but also it's a very common interrogation tactic. Dad calling me. Hang on one second. Sorry about that. Yeah. So, as I said, what are we going to do about you? And he kind of looks over the. Ervir, would you still speak first?
Suppose so. Why not? Unless Romeo is jumping at it. He knows he's the chatty one.
That's up to Frank.
Yeah, I mean, might be a good time to do the Columbo system.
Not quite.
Not quite. I mean, I could
We'll get you there though. We'll get you there.
I'm just so ready to use it too, because like, yo, it's a nice mansion. It could
Not
compliment
everyone is a suspect. Trying to hit all the circle pegs with Columbo shaped hammers.
I'll get it one of these times. I mean, if you want to start too, like, because I don't know if you're gonna go into the whole bone thing. I don't know.
That's fair enough. So far, Ervir seems like he has the most manners. So when he approaches someone like a burgomaster, he's like, maybe I should lead. Kind of just see where things go.
And it makes sense to a degree. You did like
I mean, the last time I
in the
tried to talk to
church.
somebody though, we kind of got in this mess. So
What?
Yeah, I don't know what you guys screwed up while I was gone.
Oh no.
Your lines were on
I
point,
assume
dude.
it went fine.
Yeah,
I
to
thought
be
you.
clear, Ralmir, I'm not punishing you because of bad roleplay. That's just how Izek is. He
oh
was
no,
going to
yeah,
arrest
I
you
get you,
no
but it's
matter
like, I
what.
mean, that's true, but it's like, I mean,
I
that's
have,
just how this town is.
yeah, I assume us being here is one of the better consequences, to be
Yes.
honest.
I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I,
it's like,
I was gonna wait till after the session. But I was like, dude, that's some of the best lying I've heard you tell ever. And I've known you for a long time. It was great.
Yeah, the answer to this could have been summary execution. Good.
fair.
But yeah. I suppose actually he probably. You know
But
what?
I figured if he goes with with him going like talking about like if he does bring up the bone, so that does give us really good leverage.
That's fair. Um,
Trying
and
to assess the situation we're in.
that's fair. I hate to say it now that I think about it. He is a racist old asshole. I think he would look to you.
Oh.
Because you're human. That doesn't mean you can't speak, Ralmir. But I'm just saying when he asks that question, I think he turns his attention to Ervir first.
Okay. So he doesn't realize that Izek is partially infernal, right? Or
Oh, almost certainly he would.
okay.
Sounds like based on Yakobachi's info, dude lives here.
Yeah, fair enough.
And he is the captain of the guard.
He smells of brimstone.
Yeah, yeah.
Disgusting.
That is pretty evil sounding.
Mhm.
Or devilish, I should say. So
Evil.
yeah, evil. Yeah, sure.
they are lawful evil by nature. But yeah, I don't know. So you sound like you kind of want to toe in there. Go for it. I trust you.
Me or Romir? Sorry, broke
I
up a
said
little bit.
Frank. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no,
That
Frank,
seems
go
like
ahead.
Frank
If
kind of
you
wants
got
to go
something
for it.
if
No,
you got
I'm
something
just
to go in with, go for it.
I don't really have any like. I figured like the best leverage though would be the bones. So I figured
I'm
that's
not even jumping in with leverage yet. I'm just gonna go with the
Yeah.
flow and kind of see what kind of reaction we
Also,
get from the play.
yeah. Also, the glare I got from him though is like I don't think he likes colored people. So
This redskin out of here.
Reds, his damn redskin green eyes.
All right. Fair enough. Redskin green eyes. Take us away, that Ervir.
Oh, Irving will introduce himself. Irving Hellebrook and offer a small bow as he does so, and then gesture to each of his companions in row, Romir, Yakobachi, and Narlak. A pleasure.
I'm not friendly, so try to.
And he would offer you like the smallest nod of the head, but that's about it. Yes, I am quite familiar with. I find it imperative that I be aware of the comings and goings of all visitors to Valaki, as well as what information can be gleaned about them from their activities here in town. I have been meaning to
This would
speak
make
to
sense. Oh,
you, but sorry, he is going to have some pauses. Um,
that's fine. That's my bad. I'm jumping the gun.
I have been meaning to speak to you, but I will admit I did not see us going this way. I had high hopes that some fresh blood would perhaps revitalize things, and that, well, the populace would be emboldened by new visitors, especially with your attendance, and he says, looking at you very sternly, at tomorrow morning's festivities. And yet, well, I have heard that you've caused a considerable scare, even if it was in the interest of doing something good. What can you tell me about that?
Well, I would wager that the captain has filled you in about as much as my compatriots and I can, although I'm happy to go into further detail. But might I suggest that perhaps there's another way to spin this? While yes, we had good intentions and arguably have done good, it seems that there were unforeseen consequences as a result of that. However, this could also be spun as the city guard removing a threat to the people so that they know they are safe. A reinforcement of the capabilities of the city guard in maintaining the peace.
He smiles. Clever, of course, and very similar to what I would have done without your suggestion. But if you are on board, well, that makes things quite a bit easier. And there's a wide smile there. And you can see in the way that he you, there's a clear indication that he was going to beat you into agreeing that. Or, well, not him himself, but he would have had you beaten into agreeing to that line of thinking. But, well, if you're all cooperative, that does make things simpler. I should have expected as much from a man of faith. You're all political men at heart, are you not?
I have no real interest in politics. I just want what's best for the people. And I think in this town, the reassurance that their city is taking care of them is in their best interest.
Yes.
I
It is.
think you and I agree quite well in that matter.
He would nod. It is imperative above all else that the townsfolk know that all will be well. You see, that is why we remind them so regularly. The festivities, joy, happiness, these, well, these are mandatory things, Valaki. Naysayers and troublemakers are not to be tolerated. I see that we are at least of an understanding in that regard. And given that we are, as a recompense for your reckless behavior, taking into account the service you have done so far, you will all attend tomorrow's festivities, and you will be at my side upon the dais. In fact, perhaps, well, a traveling priest. You may be the one to light the first torch. Yes, I think that would play nicely. You and Father Petrovich together will kick off the festivities. And the way he says this is not a request. But he looks to you for agreement.
That sounds lovely. It would be my honor to serve at Father Petrovich's side as such.
Well,
While my time in Barovia and Valaki has been short, I've grown quite appreciative of the Morning Lord.
yes, his brilliant light guides us all. It is so reassuring to be. There is no heart behind those.
Didn't catch that last thing you said.
There's no heart behind those words at all.
Yeah, but also the part before that.
Also,
Oh,
also
just-
the words.
Yes, just
Also
saying,
the words.
isn't it so reassuring to be. Second, he's at the door again, out the hallway. My lord. Well, it seems unnecessary to risk brave guardsmen in the disposal of these foul beasts. But set a perimeter, take 12 men, surround the coffin shop, and burn it to the ground. And Isak nods right away and strides off.
Wait, like they're just gonna just burn down the
They're
whole
just gonna
shop.
torch it. Yep. And he looks at all of you. No, I don't think there's anything further. You're dismissed. I have a missive to draft. The townspeople must know the brave work that the guards are doing to keep them safe. Isn't that right, Mr. Hallowbrook?
Of course. It is through the care of their governor and city guard that keeps them safe.
Indeed. It takes a certain amount of bravery to cut out the rot before it spoils. And in the end, all will be well. Yes, Romir.
I totally forgot to grab that cup in that cupboard, didn't I? The valuable one. I don't think I grabbed
I
it.
assumed you looted it when you guys were.
Okay, because I
We're
was like,
going
I
through.
can't remember off the top of my head. That was the one thing. It was like, oh, they're torching the place, so I wanted that cup.
Mm-hmm.
I got my salt.
No,
man.
my sippy cup!
On.
I was like, I don't care about anything else about the place. I was
While
like,
the
I don't care.
while they're
I just want the
monologuing
cup.
and they're
Uh-huh.
discussing, I'm just gonna spend time observing these dogs, getting familiar with the breed, while just looking at them.
Mm-hmm. So that you could wild shape into them later.
Yeah, possibly. Could come in
Yes, you
handy.
can add Mastiff to your. Yeah, but they're big motherfuckers, but they're not outside of your ability to wild shape.
Like, what kind of mastiffs are we talking? Like,
I'm talking like a full-on bull mastiff, like big motherfucker. And you know when they kind of stood up, they were like just under sternum high.
okay, so we talking like the beast from the Sandlot
This is
kind of big.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
I'm just trying to use my time to just maybe find any details that stand out. One's got a scar in the ear. This one's got a
Fair enough.
chipped nail on his right foot. Things
Mhm.
like that.
And they both would definitely have a number of scars. One could assume these have been sicked on many prisoners. But yeah, one of them's got like a solid, like somebody tried to pull its mouth to get it off of them. It's got like tears. But well, they seem well fed. One would hope it's on kibble and not townsfolk. Um,
Mm-mm.
and as he starts to like, he has completely ignored you for a second. He literally just said, "No, I don't need crafting." And he pauses after writing a sentence or two. I suppose if any of you are a talented hunter, we will be in need of a new coffee maker. No? A shame. That will be all.
Okay.
Is it unmuting me? Oh, it is. Just isn't saying it. Yeah, what happened to? I guess Irvir doesn't actually know, but what did happen to Heinrich after I was caught?
The guards took him.
Yeah,
He
I
didn't
figured.
ask.
Well,
Can you say? Fought with vampires in your attic?
Yeah, I figured he was pretty fucked. I was debating on the drive over how much Irvir would speak in his defense and all, but he's like,
Yeah, fuck that guy. He had
Yeah,
vampires in his
probably, he's
attic.
old anyways, you know. Shit.
Irvir was just
True.
hoping he wasn't going to be executed, but he's probably going to be executed.
Probably
That's
got him
what it
hung up
sounded
on a
like.
wheel pain right now.
I mean, why would you be a coffin maker and have vampires in your
lucrative
seems a little
business.
suspicious. It's where they sleep.
They need somewhere to sleep. He makes premium beds.
I mean, that's just an occupational hazard. Of course, vampires show up in coffins. Like, that's just where they spawn.
That is kind of just where they spawn. You're not wrong. But yeah, as you leave his don't shortly after he says that will be all and return, take like a half step.
Breaking the line on that.
Yeah, well, we're almost wrapping, so but
Okay,
yes,
well,
he dismisses
then-
you with, that will be all, and if you don't immediately start to leave after 10 seconds or so, the master will get up and start and kind
well,
Take
I was
slow
like,
steps.
I'll just say it was a pleasure meeting you, and then I'll just be walking out the door.
doesn't even
And
respond.
then very quickly
Yep.
exit.
Didn't think he would, but try to be.
Yeah, no,
Tried to-
politeness comes from you and you. But yeah, the guards will, but they will usher you down, and back out the front door. So I can drop you on the ground floor if you want. But if there's anything you're doing on the way out, let me know.
I don't believe so. I don't think this is the type of place to start shenanigans at. So
No tomfoolery. Yeah. Too many
no
You never know.
tomfoolery in this place.
um, tomfoolery optional, I suppose. But yeah, you would come past the main hall again, and as you do, I think from this southern door off the main hall, you would hear like particularly unflattering laugh, like a high female voice, but it's like almost a cackle. Uh, and then in response, several voices, all female as well, nervously laughing along with it.
Hmm.
And, the guard from outside would step in to ensure that you understand it's time to leave.
Hmm.
And you are shooed back out into the streets of Valaki. Finding yourself down here.
And I'll just be like, I don't think that guy liked me very much.
Well, I don't think he liked any of us. Most humans I've met would be kind of judgmental, except for Irvir. He's great.
Well, ask the guard on the way out.
Yes.
Will we be able to retrieve our equipment today, or is that going to be after tomorrow's ceremony?
He considers you. And this guy, he did listen. And he knows Ezek is pretty strict, and the Burgomaster is pretty strict, but there was no order saying you couldn't have your equipment back. I believe the punishment was that you are not permitted to leave our city, and you are aware of the laws.
Yeah.
You may have your equipment, but be aware that if it is used for, well, any nefarious purposes, any leniency you may have had has already been spent. And he will hand it back to you since you asked. They would have been happy to keep it. But
They were not used for nefarious purposes today, nor shall they moving forward either. Thank you.
he nods, but
You'll
no
roll
extra
deception on that.
pleasantries. As far as Ervir knows, he doesn't intend to be nefarious, right?
Yeah, Revere has no nefarious designs. He's just a little guy trying to do priest shit.
That's
Just a
true.
little guy. But yeah, you would all be returned your gear, and step back out into the town. Um, you're kind of, not pushed, but encouraged off of premises back onto the street. And as you come to the end, there are two well-dressed fellows, wearing like kind of dark blue cloaks, hoods pulled up at the end of the walk there. And as you come out onto the street, one of them steps forward and pulls his hood down, and as he does, the other follow shortly thereafter. Karl and Nikolai Wachter seem to be waiting for you. It is good to see you again, dear friend, he says to you, Rolmir.
One moment.
Ah, and then Frank ran away.
Unfortunate consequence of this punishment
Alright,
is we were supposed to go rescue Beth today.
Well,
Or try.
you were gonna go knock on the castle door and get Bev today?
Well, I don't know, go scout out the location. We just know that's the general direction she went.
okay.
That's true.
Alright, I'm back. I talked to the people that I played a friendly game of cards with.
Ah, yes. Um, and they approach, smiling, um, open hands, showing no weapons. Um, seems as though you've run a bit afoul of our dear Burgomaster. Perhaps you would prefer some more pleasant company. Our dear mother would so very much love to have you all over for lunch. What do you say to a spot of tea?
Uh,
I mean, Narlug's tummy is rumbling.
Alright.
I get the feeling that Narlug will gladly eat at all times.
Yeah. There's food being offered.
Alright,
Narlug's not
so
opposed.
Doesn't know these
alright,
people.
so
He
when they
looked
said
right
it'd
at
be like
Romir.
so
Yeah.
when he said like offered us up for like lunch though, it's like we're not the lunch, are we?
No, no, no. With your 16 insight, you definitely glean you are not the lunch. But you would glean he's putting on a friendly face. There's no overt ill intent, but they clearly want something as you watch the two of them.
I think I have an idea, perhaps. So, I'm gonna be like, kind of like shrug to the group. Though it's like, what's the worst that can happen? I'm sure there's
That's
nothing
a big,
nefarious about
big question.
there's nothing nefarious about these people. And I did not harm these people in any way. So,
The worst thing
Sweating.
that could happen keeps happening over the past 2 days.
Very well. Um, and yes, you get the feeling it's a invitation, but similar to the Burgomaster. Oh, it would be dreadfully rude to say no.
yeah, I was like, yeah, we kind of.
Is it like lunchtime now, or is it implying this invitation's for later?
No, it's about lunchtime. It was like maybe 10. There's like the time of walk you over slowly and realistically
Yeah.
waiting. Then when we got
It
it's
was
like 11.
are they inviting just me over? Or is
Oh,
that
all
just
of
the
you.
group?
You
All
and
the
your
group?
friends, yes.
I'm famished from a day of hunting. I could eat.
Yeah, I
Thursday
mean,
morning.
Murder Master is expecting us tomorrow morning though, so it'd be kind of suspicious if we all just vanish too. So they'd probably be looking out for doing a search party if we do not show up tomorrow morning.
Oh, undoubtedly. Are you saying any of that out loud?
No, I'm not just like kind of
Right.
just like thinking out. So it's like I'm not saying that out loud in front of the walkers though.
Just checking.
These people terrify me. So, I'll just be like, I just nod to the group though, and I'll just be like, yeah, I have some tea and some lunch. So sounds delightful.
Excellent. Then that's Nikolai, the younger one. It's wonderful to know that there are men of culture in this town. Oh, we're sure to have a wonderful time. And the two of them will lead you off towards Wachter House, where I think we will pick up next time. I think you're all finding that Valaki is in fact a nest of viper. The blue water might be quite nice, but like you said, Ralmir, people are a little scary here.
Yeah, it's like you got the police there, you got these people, which luckily these people do not know that I immediately offered to assassinate them.
An old
That is
coffee
true.
maker in cahoots with vampires, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, another good session.
Priest, we all thought
Heck
was an
yeah.
asshole. Actually turned out to be a pretty cool dude.
Right. You do seem to have a few friends. Pretty nice.
Scattered.
The Martikovs seem pretty
Asshole?
nice. What, Mike?
Did you say you thought the priest was an asshole?
Well,
Well, we
what was
thought.
the bartender? She was telling us like she didn't care much for him, and that he's not quite what he seems or whatever.
Wait, was she saying that about Tyler Lucian or the Abbey?
She was saying that about the Abbey of Saint Markovia, not about the Church of Saint Andrew. She's saying that about
Oh.
Kresk. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. You guys were like lightly suspicious of the priest at first. And then again, Father Donovich, the first priest you met here, was super turbo sus. So I don't blame you for being a little bit suspicious.
I mean, I'm suspicious of everybody in this fucking town, to be honest with you.
It's fair.
That's
Pretty much
very
gotta be.
fair.
They keep giving us reasons to be.
So I'm gonna start this so that I can end it. Please ignore the ping. End of it. Are we all good for next Monday?
I'll be good.
It
I'll
should
be good.
If there's anything coming up though, or anything weird though, I'll let you know.
Sounds
But
good.
I definitely want to continue with this though, because I like where this is going though.
I will be back in town.
Perfect. Next Monday will be immediately after daylight savings, which does tweak things a little bit. So
Right,
let
we
me see.
can't start earlier because Zaki has work.
Right. I can just commit to pushing to 8, but we'll have a hard stop then. Like I will have to just
Oh, no matter what,
be
that's
done.
fine.
Middle
That's
of
cool.
the battle doesn't matter. Cool.
So I'm gonna start it at the normal
I mean,
time,
We
or I'm
don't
gonna
do
set
combat
it.
in this campaign though, so I don't think that really matters.
Yeah, we really don't. Actually, no. I'm gonna set it to start. Wait, if I make it 6, I think that should make it the same time. There is combat in this game, but it's a lot of it comes as a consequence of dumb choices.
Yeah, opening of boxes and just be like,
No,
yeah.
no, 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 no. I just
At
mean
least in
like,
the city.
yeah, you could at many points get into fights with the guards, but that's a bad plan. Uh,
Well, I
Yeah, once
definitely
we're
don't want to get.
outside the walls and
yeah, once you're outside,
adventuring.
yeah, things are a little different. outside. So this should be at the same time as normal for you guys now, I think. Let's make sure.
Especially if the next session is going to start off RP heavy again. And as long as everyone's ready to go, like, try to be there like 5 minutes early so we can start right at the start time. Obviously, Zachy has work. He'll get in his car and get on when he can. So we won't actually start the session until Zachy's at least
But we can do the
able to get in
recap
Discord.
and
But
kind of the
yeah,
initial
I mean,
few minutes of
because
bullshit.
I don't know if these. I assume that these people are trying to conspire or something. Is my suspicion.
Get him working on
So,
both ends, you know. My enemy and my enemy is my bro.
yeah,
I
we
try to
just
play both sides, so I always come
Right.
out on top.
There you
yeah,
go.
I was about to say that too. It was like, I love it's always funny.
But yeah, does that invite then end up being at the same normal time? Is that 7 your guys' time?
It's worked for. It says
Let
6
me-
for me.
What's it 6 for you? Because time doesn't change.
Monday, November 4th at 7. So, yep.
Okay, perfect.
It even
Okay,
took him for
cool.
count the leap or the time saving. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even have it.
Right.
Fucking weird Arizonians, dude.
Yeah, no.
Oh, wait. Oh,
That
you
is
don't.
great,
need
Zachy.
PM.
So we
Arizona
don't
doesn't do
move.
it.
So now I'm on the same time as
Oh,
Zachy.
that's right. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Wow. I don't know if that's easier or worse for you.
Yeah, I don't know. Makes it easier to call home now, but it is a little bit frustrating when it comes to scheduling because of my super schedule. Normally it works better for me when it's 2 hours ahead like with other people. For anything that's not on a weekend. So, but
Hell yeah. No, I was gonna say that was great. The way you weaved the lie with the truth was great,
right?
Frank.
I think
Oh,
that's
wait.
gonna
We're
get
saying
our
that's like,
attention,
oh,
everybody.
I heard what? That I heard some rustling in that dusty
Yeah.
room.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
You did
No,
go,
it's exactly
That's how you like it.
Zeki said. It's smart. You stretch the truth so you didn't have to extend into a lie.
I was
and
like,
it's easy.
what's an excuse for me to like open up these things to
Mhm.
because to make it sound like somewhat believable? It's like, oh, we saw this guy passed out though, and I heard rustling. Like, this
enough.
is weird. I'll go investigate.
How
Not me being
suspicious.
greedy. It's like, I need money.
Right. Not me trying to fleece this guy while he's paralyzed in the chair.
Okay. I forget like what was the because I forgot to add like that cup to my inventory. So
Yes, I can look it up. Give me just a moment. Is it a
I got
cup?
the pour
I thought it
box
was
in my inventory though. You can't forget about that. It's like I was like wondering. It's like for the Burge Master. I was wondering. It's like, hey, would you be able to? But I was like, this is probably the worst guy to do the pour box to.
Oh, that would have been very funny.
It's like yeah,
Probably would not have worked out super well.
this man's living in a mansion. He's like,
No. There were 10 gold that Narlug found.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the bedroom, it wasn't a cup, it was just coin.
right.
30
It was like
silver.
in a cupboard
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah, it was just in the
I
wardrobe.
got I grabbed the silver pieces from the rooms
Mhm.
from the other places.
It was
So
Yeah, so
electro.
it's 30 silver and 12 electro.
Oh, 30
And they
silver,
all have
nice.
Strahd's face on them.
30 silver. Oh, I thought it was 13. So that's
No, 30
3
silver,
0. And then how much electrum?
12.
12. Okay. All right. Fixing that. All right. Cool.
And then electrum are they tens? No, they can't be tens.
They're half
silver.
dollars. Think of it
Yeah,
like a
they're
half
half
of a
gold.
gold. It's like 2 of them is
Yeah.
1 gold.
Yeah, so that's a total of 9 gold. Right? Because 10
Oh,
silver,
God.
2 gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like fuck.
Killing it.
I don't know how I'm gonna manage having all this money.
Hey,
It's like I'm gonna be over.
it is
Almost
a
like
survival horror campaign after all.
It's
Can't
almost like
have you too
Vandelver.
wealthy.
We make a joke because in our campaign we fucking have done like 3 dungeons in a row and they have over like 6,000 pounds of fucking loot.
We have
and
too
it's
much
like,
gold to
They
carry.
have so
We have too
much
much-
gold and have nowhere to spend it. It's awesome. It's like the complete opposite.
We ran into that problem in two. I don't know if you were with your group when they went through the mines.
That's kind of where they met my character, but it was already kind of at the end.
Okay.
But I imagine there's all
'Cause, yeah,
types of shit in there.
there's literally something like 800 pounds of adamantium bars on top of like, thousands of gold and like all sorts of armor and blah blah blah. But like we wait, and it was like I don't even remember. I think it was like 6,
Yeah.
like literally.
Oh, no, do we still have the bell?
You still have the bell as well. It's sitting in the inside the tower because you didn't want to leave it in the wagon. Yeah, it's here. I'll read it to you, Zach, if you got a second here. All this shit.
Sure.
Here's what's all in there. I mean, it's pretty hilarious. Because they got a mudslick tower. It's basically like a permanent like Demon's Hut.
Sure.
It's pretty neat. So they just kind of throw stuff in there when they're not adventuring. Inside the brand new wagon 2.0, they have 9,150 gold pieces. That's 183 pounds. 510 platinum pieces. That's 10 pounds. 5,000 silver pieces. That's 100 pounds. And then they also have a tarnished bell that weighs 50 pounds, worth 250 gold pieces. 3 dwarven statues that are worth 10 gold that are worth money. They don't know how much it's worth. It's 10 pounds. They and then they have a bunch of other random shit that they can throw away. And then inside Dave's bag of holding, there's 9,000 silver pieces, a jeweled dagger, 11 jacinths, a wand, a tiny jeweled box, a wooden pipe adorned with platinum filigree, 10 pounds of unrefined ore. Cool. We got 10 gems, an emerald, has holy symbol, and that's about another 5. So they got like they got a lot of weight. They got a lot of stuff on them.
Several hundred pounds worth of crap.
It's basically 400 pounds in the cart, and then they got another like max bag of holding on them. So if you want to do it that way, it's like almost 1,000 pounds worth of shit.
It's a good thing they have a way to transport it. We
Right.
literally had to, like hire people to carry stuff for us. We had to like go find the nearest settlement
Mm-hmm.
and then come back
Right.
and hope that it was not stolen while we were gone.
I was gonna say.
Oh, and then the other reason we had to wait was we killed the dragon and gutted it.
Mm-hmm.
So we like collected the hide and the talons.
Yeah, that dragon was like kind of a part of Buckwheat's whole little thing, and that's exactly what Buckwheat and Lizardfolk do. So that's exactly what we did in our campaign. Was I took it all apart and we sold a bunch of pieces. It was fun. I made a horn out of a javelin out of his horn because Lizardfolk can
Very
make
nice.
things. And,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then later on in the campaign, everyone else was like making magic, like buying magic items. I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna pay a dude to just do some random shit to my stuff. So then I went and I don't know why my DM did this, but he gave me this javelin that if I hit somebody with, they have to make a wisdom saving throw. And if they lose, they basically taunted by me. Like they have to attack the closest thing to them.
I'd cast compelled duel.
Like basically, yeah, but it's just like,
That's
holy
pretty cool.
shit, this is really good. Especially as a fighter, you can attack 3 times, hit like 4 dudes all at once.
Right.
Bam, 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 bam. But then you better be sure your cleric's ready to go, because we had a
Right.
cleric who was just healing the shit out of me the whole time, so it all worked
Gotta
out.
have that pocket healer.
Yeah, because I was getting wrecked. But yeah, good job everybody. That was fun. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a blast tonight, so.
Good. I'm glad you guys had fun. I always feel like I'm a little bit of a bully because I know people here are but I want you guys to know I'm actually